So here's everything that we'll need, and let's quickly go over it. You have the instructions, obviously. You get a little envelope that comes with a sticker, the manual, a business card, and a nice cool little envelope, but we won't need any of that right now. I might use the sticker, might not. Then we have the bottom mount piece, which is a very important piece. A dual-sided ball joint mount piece. The upper ball joint mount that actually holds the phone and bends and whatnot. A rubber grip piece that goes on that. I'll show that a little bit later. You'll need some Allen keys. Find whatever small ones you have. It is a pretty small size. I believe it is a 2mm Allen key just from what is on top of the screw. I'll double check and correct it on the screen now. You'll also need a measuring tape. It could be a standard one like this or a fabric one. You get a small set of glue, a nut with a seal at the end to allow it to tighten on itself. This is the Kawasaki Ninja actual stem, fork stem cap. It goes inside the fork stem so water, dust, and other particulates can't get inside of it. We will be removing this. And once you do, put it in a nice secure spot so you don't lose it. What also comes inside of the box is 6 washers and 6 grip pieces. You will not need any of the bigger sizes except probably the last 2, just due to the size of the fork stem. Particularly, I use the last size grip and the second to last size mount. So let's get right into getting the assembly started. So I just want to clarify that this tub of glue that comes with it, this little cylinder, this essentially is in case any one of these grips come off. You can, oh shit, we don't want to do that, but in case any of those grips come off, you can glue them back in there. That way they're nice and safe, and your phone doesn't fly off at 60 miles an hour while you're doing back flips and front flips and wheelies and endos and you know, all these other motorcycle tricks that we do. Okay, so we're gonna first touch bases on part A, this rubber mount piece. This is the most important piece of the project. It is the most difficult, and I'm gonna simplify everything and make it very easy for you guys to install. So basically, right, it comes like this. This is the top piece, and then like there's a bunch of pieces now because I pre-cut it, but essentially you're only going to need about the bottom inch of it, a bottom inch of it. So as you can see, and you can do a little bit of measuring on your own, but it seems to be about an inch will work. I mean, it's a little lopsided because of the box cutter I use, but the bottom piece, about an inch tall, will be enough of the rubber mount to where you can still tighten it. It still will grip the bottom nut, and it will still fit snug enough in there. So you don't need the top piece. You can cut that off, and the rest of it, just be very careful as you cut it, because you don't want to cut too little to where it won't grip enough, but there are still ways around that, and I'll explain that in just 1 second. Here's how we're going to assemble this. You take the bottom ball mount, right? You get the screw that comes with the set. You insert it into there. Next, you get the correct washer size, and remember, we use the second from biggest washer out of the 6 that comes in the set. You put it on there, right? Then you take the rubber mount that you have to cut, which is the most difficult part, as I said before. I'm using the bottom inch of it, and it fits snug, right? You insert it onto the screw. Next, you have the bottom grip part. Remember, we use the smallest size out of the 6, right? And you see there where there's a little bit of the screw at the bottom. This is where that gold nut with the seal at the end will be inserted, and then you're going to have to tighten it. So essentially what this mount does is, as you tighten the screw at the top and a little bit at the bottom, because you can thread it in there by hand as you start. But essentially how this grips inside the fork stem is, as you tighten it up, it squeezes the rubber mount, and this this pressure from the top and the bottom expands the rubber mount out to the side to where it can grip the inside of the fork stem pretty securely. So you're gonna want to get a nice tight grip on there. But when you're first installing it inside of the motorcycle, you don't want to have it loose because these parts can fall off and can get lost in a fork stem. That didn't happen to me, but I believe that probably has happened to some people before, so just be very careful about it. As you go, you just want to start off with your 2mm hex key and just tighten it up a little bit. You know, grip it the bottom with your fingers as if it was a wrench, and then tighten it. And you're gonna want to get it nice and snug to begin with. And there we go. That's the bottom mount part assembled. Now, from here, it's gonna get very simple. Take the double-sided ball joint mount, stick it on there. Take the top mount part, let's loosen it up just a little bit. You don't want to loosen it too tight because the bottom can then fall off. There you go. Got both sides in. Tighten it up. Not too tight to where you can't move it around freely while you're working on it. And this is how it's going to look roughly. Yours might look a little bit different depending on how you orient the mount. But roughly this is how it will look. You got the bottom mount connected to the dual ball joint mount part, connected to the male top mount part. So we're just about done. Not many steps left. This is basically the pre-installation process, and there is a couple steps, and then we're gonna get right out to going outside and actually installing it on the bike and making sure everything is snug and it works correctly before you drive off. So last but not least of the pre-installation process is just putting this this rubber grip on the phone. Some people don't use this. I would recommend using it because it was manufactured with it, so it was intended to be used. So you might as well get your money's worth and actually use it. So there we go. It is fully pre-assembled and ready to be put on the bike. All right, so let's get into installing the rest of this phone mount. All right, so here's the top of the phone, the fork stem, where we will be installing the bottom of the ram mount. So we got to take this little cap piece out. Comes out pretty easy, and as you can see, there is the rest of the fork stem. Okay, so as what you'll do when you come to install it, you'll figure out that this will go inside of there. Mine's already pretty snug, but I wouldn't mind if it was a little bit snugger. All right, so I pre-tightened it a little bit more, and it definitely is a lot more snug in there. As you can see, I don't know if you can get if I can get a good shot of that, but underneath there is a little bit of the rubber bushing in the rubber mount piece that is sticking out, but it's fine. It's squeezing there pretty tight. So as long as it's in there snug and doesn't come out, yeah, it definitely is harder for it to come out. Now it should be fine. You are supposed to check it every once in a while, make sure it's still in there snug. If it does become loose over time, just give it a little bit more of a tighten and it should be good from there. You just pre-install the dual-sided mount and the top mount to it, and then should be good. All right, so there we go. The mount is fully installed. I have my phone on there, and I also have the rubber security tether on the back wrapped around the edges of the phone, how it was supposed to be made. Again, some people use it without that. I'm not, just because I don't want to have an issue with my expensive iPhone flying off while I'm doing wheelies and stuff. So there we go. There's the installation of the Ram X Grip mount for the 2019 Kawasaki Ninja 650. All right, let's get it. Quick disclaimer: using a phone while riding a motorcycle is dangerous and stupid, and you should not do it. I always suggest pulling over or not using a phone at all. I have the phone here because it is a lot easier to have a phone here than in your pockets when you're riding. So don't text and drive, don't drink and drive. Just be a smart motorcycle rider and always wear your gear at GAT.